This plane has 84 passengers, and there are 96 window and aisle seats, so nobody has to sit in the middle on this flight. I just wanted to provide my first impression of going to the WPPI conference in Las Vegas. Now, the Rio Hotel is actually off the Las Vegas Strip, so you're kind of far away from things, so we were self-contained. We pretty much stayed in the hotel, we ate there. We ventured across the street to Walgreens, to Denny's, just to get some supplies for the room, but all in all, we pretty much stayed at the hotel at the Rio. Well, we've navigated around the Rio Hotel, through the casinos, around the restaurants, but I think we finally came to the right place, the convention center and the WPPI conference. Okay, so we're checked in, got the badge. Right off the bat, one of the mistakes that I did make is I didn't look at the schedule and plan things out really well, so when I got there, I thought I could just wing it. So for next year, I definitely will try to plan things out a little more and have a set schedule once I get there.
Shot 3 is the best part. You've got them. You've got them.
To the morning session this morning and had a good feel for what was going on. Now going down second class of the day, back to the portrait center. Basically my strategy was just to get down into the conference area, read the signage and figure out where I wanted to go. Power headshot session, here we go.
Chin forward and down a little bit. Right there, that's the move. Now I want you to give me a slight eyebrow lift if you would. Bam! Oh man!
Yeah.
That is cool. Is that pretty neat?
So I've wrapped up 2 classes today, and I think I'm feeling pretty inspired. But the first one was about light sculpting, and my main takeaway from that first one was when you're doing a photo session, do the job you're commissioned for first, do another setup that you're comfortable with. Those are your guaranteed shots. And in your third one, set something up that you're practicing, see if it sticks, and if it works, you've got something new to do, and that might be your second shot next time. This latest one I went to was more about professional headshots, but I like the fact that they talked about light sculpting at the very end, so it kind of tied the 2 sessions together. Here's a cool breakout summit where they're doing a little portrait photography session for weddings, showing how to pose the bride and groom and doing it for videography as well. Last class of the night for Monday night, closing out today. I was planning on going to a class, but I found out I actually did not sign up for it, which is no big deal. So I just made a quick pivot, went into one of the photo walks areas. The photo walks were probably one of my favorite parts of it, particularly the first one I did because it was done with strobes. And each studio bay had kind of a different lighting setup. They had a universal flash trigger that you would just put on your camera and it would just connect you right to the flashes, and then you pass it on to the next person. But I thought that was a really fun exercise. One of the highlights of the studio bay is I had my GoPro mounted on top of my camera, and so when I went around to one of the bays, when I took it off, the handler for the model happened to notice and offered to shoot some behind the scenes of me photographing the model. And we're kind of in the same position. I'm trying to build myself on Instagram, and the model himself is trying to build up himself on Instagram. So I think it was a good situation for everybody involved. So in my opinion, day 2 was an extremely productive day. 2 good solid classes in. The photo bay experience was really cool. So day 3, running tired. But today I'm going to try lighting and posing with Lindsay Adler. Lindsay Adler is a YouTuber that I really admire. I follow on YouTube. I frequently go to her videos for inspiration before I do a shoot on my own.
More shadows if I wanted. Perfect. Let me reset this. See how by going to a larger modifier, it'll allow me to light full length but have the light a little further away, and it's still going to look nice on her skin.
Coming to this, I didn't really get a good look at the schedule and plan things out really well, but I've been able to put together a pretty good a la carte version of all the classes I wanted to take. And the last one I went to with Lindsay Adler was inspiring, just showing different lighting setups. Now it's on to take a quick break and over to the Expo. Now I have to admit the Expo was a bit overwhelming at first because there's just so many different things that you're trying to look at. I found it to be beneficial to kind of go in there with one set of things that I was looking for.
It all starts with the camera, so let's go over the settings once more.
But
the other thing I did like is that there were models set up, and they were under continuous light this time, so you didn't need to hook up your flash trigger. You just had to just get your camera settings correct. And they had different lighting configurations with different models and different costumes, different backdrops. So it was a pretty cool experience just to get just to kind of work with professional models or aspiring professional models. And they didn't need a lot of direction if you didn't want to give them to, but then they were also open if you wanted to pose them in different ways. Awesome, can you kind of look on? Peter Hurley, he was doing live demonstrations on one of the stages, but then he also had his crew at the backside of the expo offering free headshots. All right, so the expo was actually pretty cool. There's a lot of new technology to look at, a lot of cool devices to look at. What I thought was totally cool is they have models set up under continuous lighting, and you can just pull up and set up and get some shots. And whether you know how to pose them or not, that still works well. I got a free headshot and was inspired by how good the guy was at his prompts. So heading back to California, new knowledge in my head. What I think is important is if you implement this knowledge immediately into your practice, otherwise that is going to go away. But I was impressed overall. I'm looking forward to going to 2026 WPPI, and I will definitely be back.